Well, hey guys, it's Outland. How's it going? And it's the end of fall, which means it's kind of the end of backpacking season, the mainstream season. I still do backpacking in winter, but just not nearly as much as I do in the other months of the year. So that means this time of the year is when I start doing my storage solutions, start looking at putting gear away, what I'm going to start planning on for next year, things like that. Now, a few months back, I showed you my situation with my gear storage back then in my old house. Since then, I've moved into this new house, and I've got a brand new gear closet. I'm calling it Gear Closet 2.0. And I want to take you guys with me. I want to show you what I've got so far and see what you think, get your feedback on it. I would love your suggestions on improvements and things I can do to make it better. Let's go take a look right now. All right, so come back here with me. We're going to go into the Gear Closet 2.0 is what I'm calling it. And basically, it's the mechanical room here of my new house here in the basement. Probably not the most ideal place to have my gear closet. Unfortunately, my wife claimed all the other big closets in the house. This is what I was left with. Now I want to show you this, get you guys' feedback, see what you think, and tell me what you think here. All right, so let's come on back into the gear closet area. Now this is the main mechanical room area right here. Of course, we got our water heater right here, furnace is here, and then under the stairs we've just got some Christmas storage stuff. The real magic is back here in my area. Okay, so if you come back in here, this is my new gear storage area right here on this big pretty shelf. Now I actually do have some cool stuff going on here. I have a smart light plug right there connected to this Barina T5 integrated LED fixture right there. And so I have this set up, so this is basically a smart setup, so I can control this with my Google Home device or with my phone, and that's kind of neat. So I can control the light with my phone and stuff like that. It's kind of just a neat touch, maybe a little bit overkill, but it kind of makes it nice so that I can control it from anywhere and turn it off and on. Okay, so what you're seeing here is the gear. It's in some kind of semblance of a organizational state. When I showed you my last video, everything was in bins. It is still in bins, as you can see. But I do have this really nice shelf that I have everything on now. This shelf is actually very, very sweet. My wife picked this up for me off of Facebook Marketplace, and she paid 50 bucks for this thing. And these are like industrial commercial shelves. These are in a retail store actually, and they just had no use for them anymore. But I tell you, these things are strong. They are bomber. They are very nice metal. No signs of any corrosion or rust or anything on them, and then very nice plywood shelves themselves. Very, very sturdy, very strong. This thing's not going anywhere, so it's a perfect location for keeping all this heavy gear. Now I'm just going to go from top to bottom here and show you what I've got. This is my Dutch oven, which I hardly ever use. I stuck it up here just because I wasn't really sure what to do with it, but it's up there in the top. My Coleman camp stove, strictly for car camping, is all I ever use that for. But it's a good spot up there for it. Down here I have some just some random sleeping bags, and I have my this is my Sportneer one that was sent to me, and then my North Face bag is here. My Marmot tent, as you can tell, this is mostly my car camping stuff still. And then in these bins is where I keep my what I consider my expensive, very good quality gear. In here I have my hammocks and tarps. I have everything labeled, which is good. They're all see-through bins, but I also have everything labeled with these slick little labels here. You can see that. This bin here is my cookware. All my stoves, pots, utilities, utensils, everything goes in this. I always know where all my cookware is going to be. It's in this bin right here. This is just a miscellaneous bin. Pretty much anything that I can't think of how to organize or what to do with goes in this little miscellaneous bin here. This bin right here is all my maps, so I keep all of my brochures, topos, everything, paper map, form goes in that nice little bin there. Look down here. This is lighting. Basically anything that is lamp, headlamps. You know, I've got black diamonds. I've got an Eno, Lucy. Anything lighting related goes in there, so I know exactly when to get my lights. This is my knives bin here, and I only have my mower in there right now, but I'm going to keep all of my knives in there. Neck knives, any kind of folding knives, any kind of knife that I use regularly when hiking is going to go in this bin right here. And this bin right here, this drawer, is gear repair. I have some pouches in there right now, but things like this, like sealants, this is a, you know, nick wax, things like that. It's still in the process of being organized, but right now that's going to be my gear repair drawer right there. Over here I've got just random stuff. I'm using a this is a gear line from Night Eyes. Basically just a piece of nylon with loops in it, but it has lots of spaces for carabiners. So I've got carabiners hanging off of all of it there, and that way I can just hang whatever gear I want off there. I got a lot of water bottles hanging off. A lot of these things I don't particularly use very often anymore. I don't use Nalgene's hardly at all. I use smart water bottles and things like that. But for nostalgic purposes, I've kept all these things. You know, every once in a while, it's just fun to have a Nalgene. So I break out a Nalgene, especially for day hikes. Over here, this is my backpacking scale. I've showed you this in my last video. It is just a Harbor Freight cheapie scale, but it works great. It's got grams, ounces. It works very, very nicely for weighing out my gear. On the side over there, I got some hiking sticks, trekking poles. I'm going to try to find a better place to put trekking poles and things like that. Keep them from getting messed up in any way, shape, or form. And down here I've got a sleeping pad, just an old closed cell phone pad, and then my other sleeping pad is right there, and then that's my Kelty Go pillow stuffed in there. This bin right here is my quilts, and this is where I keep things, I try to keep things as protected as possible. Now, as you can tell, this is an unfinished basement area, so there is you know, some dangers to gear down here. Especially these guys right here. We actually have some exposed screws coming from something on the other side of the wall there. The last thing I want to do is mess up any gear that's being stored back here. So I'm trying to be very careful with the storage of the gear and keep them in these bins. And lastly, this bin down here is packs. All of my packs go in that big giant tub. I try to keep everything just kind of laid out flat, nicely stored in there. Now again, I would have loved to be able to have my packs all nicely hung, you know, hung out nicely, but in this particular location, that's just not a very good idea. And I would absolutely love to be able to hang my sleeping bags and quilts and everything, to be able to hang them out and keep them nice and you know, uncompressed. But in this location, it's just not feasible yet to do that here. Okay folks, so this is my current gear situation. This is Gear Closet 2.0. Again, not the most ideal situation, but it is worlds better than where I had it before, which was out in the garage, exposed to heat, cold, dampness. This area is pretty nice. It stays pretty dry. I do have my eyes on a few other places in the house though. There's an awesome closet upstairs that's really not being utilized to its full potential, and I'm hoping to be able to get all this stuff up into that closet where I can actually hang my quilts and my bags, my packs, get everything really spread out nicely, get them out of these bins. But for now, this is the situation. Got to make the wife happy, so that's how it is. Really hope this video was helpful, useful to you guys, give you some ideas on maybe some of your storage. Maybe if you're like me, you don't have a whole lot of options for storage, you don't want to put it out in the garage or anything like that. This is one option. Just find a nice little unfinished area in your basement or something. as long as you keep everything contained, you know, keep the expensive stuff in bins and things like that, you should be okay. All right, guys, I really appreciate you watching today. Thanks so much for joining me. Please, if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that you will get notified every time I do a video, so I can give you as much good information as possible. All right, I'm Outland. Until the next adventure, guys, that's it. I'll talk to you real soon.